A fourth death in China due to the SARS-like Wuhan virus has been confirmed. More than 200 people have been reported to be infected in China. And Beijing has confirmed the worst fears of authorities around the world. This means it will spread more quickly and widely. The World Health Organization said it will hold an emergency meeting this week to discuss whether to declare the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Is the Wuhan virus on the scale of SARS? Now, to tell us more, we have an expert on this virus from Bioinformatics Institute A*STAR, Dr. Sebastian Maurer-Stroh. Welcome, Dr. Sebastian.
Hello.
Now, Doctor, if you could just share with us, firstly, briefly, elaborate on your role with regard to the research on the Wuhan virus.
So, in my role in the A*STAR Bioinformatics Institute is computation analysis, and we have a long experience in analyzing virus genome sequences. In this regard, we have been working with the influenza global surveillance from the WHO and colleagues, including a sharing platform called GIS8. In this sharing platform also is the one where the Chinese labs decided to share their genome sequences.
Right.
And to support these efforts of the open sharing of the sequences through the GIS8 platform, we help with computation analysis. Okay. And our role is to try to derive quick characteristics comparison to other viruses, some basic characteristics that one can see from the sequence to the structure of the virus.
Right. So, Doctor, so you're saying is that from the genome sequence, you'll be able to tell if this virus is similar to other viruses out there?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. And, from the research that you have done so far with regard to the virus, what do we know or not know about the Wuhan virus?
There are, of course, many things we do not know, and also through the genome analysis we can only say a few limited things. But for example, what is known by comparing the genomes to previous viruses is that we know that it is indeed from the SARS family. There would be several other coronaviruses, common cold viruses in other families, and there is also the MERS virus. And although this virus is closely related to SARS at the genome, there are many differences. And it's so different that there are also other bad coronaviruses in between this if we compare them and structure them in a phylogenetic tree. This is the way we compare the genomes of the virus.
Right. Doctor, if you could just explain a bit more. From the genome sequence, would we be able to say or tell if one virus is more serious or deadly compared to another virus?
One cannot say that so easily, and in particular we can compare some characteristics of the virus, and we can even go from the sequence to the structure. For example, what is shown on screen just before was the spike glycoprotein. This is one of the surface proteins of the virus. What you could see with the gray and red colors was just the model of it. On the right side, from the shared by the China CDC, is an actual electron micrograph of the virus. And you see the virus, you can imagine, is a ball and has those spikes out. So these spikes on top are what encounter the human host. And so characteristics and changes on the surface of the virus will determine how good or well it can spread between humans or from animal to human, or not at all from human to human. However, because this virus is so different from the SARS virus, just based on the sequence, one cannot easily predict that. So one needs to wait until experimental tests confirm that, and especially clinical assessment of the severity of the virus cannot be made purely based on the sequence.
Right. And you mentioned regarding the SARS virus, and you mentioned that, while it belongs to the same category, they are quite different as well, right? With that said, Doctor, is the Wuhan virus the next SARS?
SARS, in the terminology of being related to the virus family, yes, but similar, like you may have similarities, let's say, between dogs and cats, but you clearly know that they are different. And it's not so easy to say that it has the properties of SARS. We just know that genetically it belongs to the family of the virus. And we know from the genomic distance that it has been several years separate from SARS in terms of genomic divergence.
Right. Well, thank you so much again, Dr. Sebastian, for coming on to the show to share a bit more on the virus, right, on the Wuhan virus. Now, of course, we have right here Dr. Sebastian from Bioinformatics Institute from A*STAR to tell us more about the Wuhan virus. Of course, for those of you who are watching us, stay up to date with the latest on the Wuhan virus on our website, straitstimes.com.